Tapang, dangal, sakripisyo. These are the true markers of a Filipino soldier. Ako po si Mateo Guicelli, and we're bringing you the stories of heroism from the front line. Ito po, ang Patriots.
Even in the darkest times, some battles must be faced head-on. Not for personal gain, but for the sake of everyone else. As a leader, you don't always have time to think twice. You act, you decide, you lead. But in his story, it's not just about bravery, it's about purpose. This is the story of Major Gestoni Labarosa. As the nation fought an invisible enemy, another battle continued in the shadows. Even in the midst of a global pandemic, the call to serve never stopped. And in the mountains of Zamboanga, Sibugay, Major Gestoni Labarosa answered that call, unaware that the mission ahead would become one of the greatest tests of his life.
Sir, take me back to 2020, one of the turning points of your military career. Ano nangyari nun?
Yes, to be exact, sir, September 9, 2020, dun sa area namin before, sa barangay President Rojas of Artilim, Zamboanga, Sibugay. At that time, nasa peak kami ng campaign namin against the CTG or the Communist Terrorist Group or NPA. And that time, designated ako na operations officer. So supposed to be, I am not the one to lead the combat teams. Kasi more on planning ako. But since yung mga platoon leaders namin, company commanders nandun sa bundok nag-ooperate, so I have to take the responsibility or yung position.
You are a young officer at this time.
Yes, first lieutenant at that time.
So take me back to that morning. Anong oras yung jump off niyo nun?
From the jump off area is 0100, so alauna ng madaling araw. Then time on target namin is alas 2. So madilim.
So 1 hour yung lakad nyo?
Yes. Actually by on board with the vehicle.
Okay.
Then drop point mo, yung drop point namin is target Subahay.
So yung target nyo dito were the Abu Sayyaf?
Yes, Abu Sayyaf group led by Poroji and Damasan. Supposed to be, they're not there sa area kasi nga from Basilan sila. So Zamboanga Sibugay, parang yun yung shopping area nila. So parang hindi rin sila in-expect na nandun sila sa area na yun that time.
So take me back to that moment. Ano nangyari nung 2 in the morning? That
operation is well rehearsed and planned. Immediately after na ma-drop kami sa area, nag-skirmish at saka nag-position yung mga personnel namin or personnel ko na dinala. And we observed the target. So upon observation doon sa target is na-observe namin yung armed mga personalities and they're planning to escape that time. So we take the opportunity na ma-engage and yun na yung start ng firefight. Actually, we expect them na talagang lalaban sila kasi nasa doktrina ng Abu Sayyaf talagang hindi umaatras, talagang lumalaban. So, nagkaroon ng bakbakan and yun, doon nag-start na na-wounded din ako.
Gaano katagal ang firefight?
From 2 o'clock, sir, until 5 in the morning. So, almost 3 hours. But ako, immediately, parang as I recall, parang 1.5 hour na-extricate ako doon sa kill zone.
So how did you get injured? What happened?
Since ako, sir, yung pinaka-ground commander, so I am the one to give the command. So, need nila marinig yung command ko, clear command. So, I believe yun yung naging reference din ng kalaban. Na ako yung i-pinpoint, ako yung i-take down kasi ako yung malakas mag-command. So, sa akin na-focus yung volume fire. Yung tinataguan ko sa malaking puno. And siguro na-expose lang yung part ng katawan ko, yung knee. And of course, yung left hand ko.
So your knee was shot, your left hand was shot.
Yeah, yes.
Nung tamaan ka sa tuhod at sa kamay, ang sabi niyo sa tropa, wag niyo ako i-extract dito. Dito ka muna, tapusin mo muna yung labanan.
Yeah, yeah,
Ano
yeah.
pumapasok sa isip mo? Bakit ganun yung inisip mo?
Yung tropa sir, that time, nung nalaman nila na wounded ako. So, they're trying to rescue yung ako doon sa kill zone. But I believe na yung naging decision ko that time, sabi ko, wag muna. Kasi ongoing pa yung firefight and medyo aggressive pa yung kalaban.
Duguan ka nito.
Yeah, yes sir. Yes sir.
May tourniquet ka lahat.
Yeah, nag-self-aid po ako. Kasi we are equipped with the individual first aid kit. So, may tourniquet. So, self-aid muna. So, yung tropa, gusto nilang akong i-rescue that time. Sabi ko, wag muna kasi baka yung magre-rescue sa akin, yun pa yung matamaan. So, baka mas ma-worse pa yung situation. But then, na-assess ko naman yung sarili ko na feeling ko kaya ko pa naman. So, sinecure ko lang yung position ko, dinefend ko yung location ko until yung medyo na pacify na yung target, na neutralize na yung target. So, that's the time na lumapit na sila sa akin. But during firefight, sir, I decided na wag muna dahil inisip ko na instead na ako yung i-rescue is dadami pa yung ma-rescue or ma-wounded that time.
The operation against the Abu Sayyaf terrorist group was a success, but victory came at a heavy price. Major Gestoni Labarosa was critically wounded. As his strength began to fade, his comrades raced against time, evacuating him to the nearest hospital. The battle had ended, yet for Major Labarosa, the real test had only begun. No longer against an armed enemy, but against pain, uncertainty, and the long road to recovery.
Doon ako talaga umiyak kasi yung picture na sinend sa akin, parang grabe naman yung parang bangkay na siya. Ang putla-putla, tapos may mga shrapnel sa mukha, tapos may black eye, nakapikit lang siya.
For 3 relentless hours, Major Gestoni Labarosa and his troops fought Abu Sayyaf terrorists in the rugged hills of Zamboanga, Sibugay. The smoke of the battle had cleared, but the ultimate fight was only beginning. Wounded and fighting for his life, Major Labarosa faced a new ordeal. One that demanded extraordinary courage, unwavering faith, and an unbreakable will to survive. Hundreds of miles away in Capiz, his family was about to receive the news that would change their lives forever.
So that time, masakit kasi birthday ko yun eh. September 9, 2020. So madaling araw yun nangyari. Nabalitaan namin, siguro mga around 7 a.m. So naka-receive kami ng information na gano'n nga yung nangyari sa kanya. So kasagsagan yun na nagpe-prepare kami na para pagsaluhan namin yung pamilya. Bilang isang sundalo, pinapakalma muna yung pamilya, parang ano lang muna. Kasi alam ko naman na kung ano yung sitwasyon. No? At na-imagine ko na kung anong nangyari kasi madaling araw pa nangyari.
September 9 yun, ma'am. Birthday ng kuya niya ang encounter. At that time, ang simple saya namin, may handaan. So wala na ako sa sarili ko. Hindi ko na maintindihan, parang sabi ko, ano ba to? Kahit anong masasarap na pagkain, wala na yun sa akin. Dahil doon ang isip ko kay Gestoni kung kumusta na siya. So, at yung kapatid niya na nakababata sa kanya na nag-apply din doon ng CAFGO dati. So, nakontak na namin. Siya na muna ang, for the meantime, nag-alaga sa kanya.
Tapos, nung nakita na sila, sinendan ako ng picture, doon ako talaga umiyak kasi yung picture na sinend sa akin, parang grabe naman yung parang bangkay na siya. Ang putla-putla, tapos may mga shrapnel sa mukha, tapos may black eye, nakapikit lang siya.
Iya mo na, mahibik ko na lagi sila, kamu nakita mo sitwasyon dyan. Kita mo na sa kung naghiga, nga hindi na makalaro ang itsura na, kung ang itsura niya, kung saan naging hindi, kay ang iyan din daw, ano na din eh. Hindi na makita ang itsura nga namin lagi, kay Wala man may mga dugo-dugo pa nga ano. Kaya kumputa ka to, ay nakamas po sa tumili, pag COVID siya to, hindi man yung makalaro ang itsura pero naano lang nga siya.
At the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Major Gestoni's family could not travel to V. Luna Hospital to be by his side. His wife Rose could only watch over him through video calls. After 3 long months, his mother, Nanay Nida, was finally able to travel to Manila and care for him throughout his long road to recovery.
What was the next stage for Major Labarosa? How was recovery? What happened next?
It takes 1 year and 3 months yung medication. So 11 procedures. So I undergo 11 surgical na operation. I think yun sir, talagang medyo, then that time sir, 2020 is pandemic.
Okay.
So struggle yung mga bisita, hindi makabisita sa akin. Even my family, so limit only 1. So yun sir, medyo mentally talagang nakuan din ako na parang
Lumoral ka talaga.
nalulumoral kasi gusto ng mga parents ko, even yung my wife na pumunta, but with the restriction during pandemic.
Wala akong magawa kasi naka-lockdown nga noon. Tsaka yung baby namin 9-month-old. Tapos hanggang sa dinala na siya sa V. Luna. Everyday pa rin po siya nag-update. Tapos sinasabi niya na okay lang siya. Laging okay lang, ganun. Okay lang. Well taken care of daw siya ng mga doctors. Pero after nung nagkita kami, nung nakabalik na siya, naka-undergo pala siya ng ilang operation, tapos sobrang sakit daw pala nung, iba pala yung very painful daw pala yung nararamdaman niya that time.
11 major surgeries, months of pain, a long road to recovery. But Major Gestoni Labarosa's greatest strength wasn't built in the hospital. It began long before the battlefield. Before he became a soldier, he was a teacher, a young man with a simple dream to one day wear the uniform and serve the Filipino people.
Your life, Major, as an officer is very interesting because bago ka pumasok sa OCS, you were a teacher.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that journey of yours as a teacher?
Yes, sir. Actually, totoo po yan, sir. Before I entered the military service, isa pa akong guro. So, nagtuturo ako sa high school. But then, gusto ko kasi, sir, yung medyo mas makan pa. I believe being a teacher is na noble profession. But, feeling ko may mas more than pa na kakayanan ako, mga potential. So, that's why nag-try ako sa na mag-apply ng OCS, ng OCC, and by God's grace, one time na-apply is na swertihan naman po.
Saan po kayo naging teacher?
My school, which is my alma mater before, Lucero National High School in Capiz. So, dyan din po ako nag-graduate ng high school. Kaya immediately after nung graduation ko, pagkapasa ko ng board exam, and yun, immediately inabsorb ako ng school.
Pero nung teacher kayo, meron ka bang longing talaga maging sundalo? Nasiisip mo talaga na gusto mo magbakbakan? Ano yung turning point mo, nag-teacher sundalo pa? Ano nangyari sa buhay niyo?
Actually, sir, yung bayan namin is malapit sa headquarters ng TRID. So, in short, most of the kwandon is talagang sundalo. May tito is sundalo, may kuya is sundalo.
So, may line ka na
Yes,
mga
sir.
sundalo.
So, nakita ko talagang ina-idolize ko rin po sila. And I believe, being a teacher, mas magamit ko pa yung potential ko pag pumasok sa service.
Si Major Labarosa, ma'am, magaling talaga yan sa klase. Pagdating sa klase namin, nagsusnowball yan. Tinutulungan niya ako sa mga gawaing, mga assignments namin, kung mga hindi ko kaya. Meron sa mga subjects namin na mahirap talaga. Gumraduate siya sa ma'am na, gumraduate siya na cum laude.
Nasa puso na niya talaga bilang educator. Kasi nakita ko sa kanya, kahit military siya, andyan pa rin yung potential na magtuturo sa kapwa niya dahil love niya din bilang teacher, naging teacher siya noon. And then, mahilig sa kasi ma'am sa mga bata. At saka yung mga bata dito sa amin, malapitin talaga sa kanya. Kaya sabi ng mga nagiging estudyante niya, si Sir, ang galing.
Major Gestoni Labarosa never left the classroom behind. Even in uniform, he discovered that some battles are won not with firepower, but through education. And in the country's most isolated communities, one lesson could change a life.
You being as a soldier is not only on combat, no? So we are trained also to give, kumbaga, magturo, lalo sa mga isolated communities. Kasi hindi naman lahat is naabot ng government services, lalo yung mga schools. So yung military kasi yung nakakapasok doon sa mga far-flung areas, isolated communities.
Some battles are fought with weapons, others begin inside a classroom. Long before Major Gestoni Labarosa led soldiers into combat, he was shaping young minds because for him, education isn't just about teaching lessons, it's about changing lives.
Kailan mo na-realize na sobrang importante ang pagiging guro mo?
Dati sir, talagang kasi ako malapit ako sa mga bata eh. Pag may makita akong bata, gusto kong tinuturuan ko sila. So ngayon sir, nung nasa service na ako, parang continuing current mission kasi even nasa service na ako sa Philippine Army, is nagtuturo pa rin ako. So yung value sir or yung importance ng pagtuturo or yung being an educator is hindi nagtatapos kung hindi mo ipapractice yung pagiging teacher mo. So even in any siguro profession, lalo na sa Philippine Army, na talagang nagtuturo talaga kami sa tropa, sa community, and yun, yung nakita ko sir yung value ng.
Si Major Labarosa, hindi lang yan magaling sa military. Magaling din yan magturo. May mga techniques yan para madali niyang makuha yung atensyon ng mga estudyante niya. Marami yung mga energizer na nalalaman bago umpisahan yung mga subjects niya. Hindi lang yan magaling, believe ako niyan.
In the eyes of Major Labarosa, every single child given the chance to learn is one less child who can be led down the wrong path. Sometimes, the strongest defense isn't a rifle, it's education.
Sa mga viewers natin na inisip nila anong ginagawa mo sa pagiging guro dito sa sundalo mo, can you explain to us, halimbawa, pag pumapasok kayo sa isang community, ano mga activities na kaya mong gawin doon sa community na yan dahil background mo ay isang teacher?
Yung mga areas kasi na talagang hindi naabot ng education system natin. Talagang may mga areas pa na hindi naabot ng mga schools. So may mga bata doon sir na hindi nakapag-aral, hindi marunong sumulat, hindi marunong bumasa. So sa akin as former na teacher, so yung basic education lang sir, kahit simple na pagsusulat, yung basic na pagbabasa, at least mayroon man lang silang alam and hindi na rin sila ma-exploit or hindi na rin sila maging blind doon sa mga propaganda sa kabilang grupo.
Madi-differentiate kasi yan ng mga kumbaga ng mga tao sa barangay o kung saan mang yung mga population sa barangay. Kasi yung pagtuturo na yan is kung ihalin tulad mo sa pagtuturo ng ideolohiya ng kabila, may connection yan. So itong pagtuturo ng kapatid ko is more on information na talagang magbibigay linaw doon sa mga kaisipan, hindi lang sa mga bata, kundi sa buong mamamayan. Ito ay magbibigay ng liwanag kung paano nagkakaroon ng ganito, yung mga insurgency, at kung paano ginagamit yung mga tao, yung masa, saka kung bakit nagkakaroon ng mga armado.
The true measure of a teacher is never found inside a classroom. It's found in the people who continue the lesson, long after the teacher is gone.
Yung subject namin sa kanya noon is TLE. Ang grabe talaga yung mga memories namin noon kasi hindi lang siya naging guro namin, kundi nagsilbi siyang isang model at isang kuya para sa amin. Kasi hindi lang sa pagtuturo namin natutunan yung lahat, pati na yung pag-uugali, itinuro na sa amin yung disiplina. Dinuro na sa amin, may integridad, confidence at tiwala sa sarili, tsaka yung pagiging malikhain also.
Si Kuya, sobrang bait. Lahat naman sila talaga mabait. Nasa puso ko kasi talaga na gusto kong magsundalo din, kagaya nila. Kaya kinuha ko yung kursong CRIM. Pag dito naman sa amin, yun nga sabi ni Kuya, Santa Claus sa dito. Kasi pag uwi, parang yun yung kasiyahan niya, nagbibigay siya. Tapos thankful ako kasi lahat ng gusto ko, sabi niya, go lang, andito ako sa sa likod mo. Suportahan kita.
After Basilan, Major Labarosa's battlefield changed, but his mission never did. No longer on the front lines, he continues to lead with the same courage, earning the respect of those who serve beside him.
Pag sabi namin nga, sir, pwede maghingi ng tulong, sir. Sabi niya, sige, upuan niya yan. At the same time, pwede mo siyang malapitan. Approachable siyang klaseng tao po. Hindi ka mahiya sa kanya. Yung relationship namin pagdating sa trabaho is parang brotherhood lang po. Kasi hindi ka mahiya sa kanya. Pero when it comes sa respeto at sa disiplina, may respeto kami sa kanya, ma'am.
Some sacrifices are remembered with medals. Others are remembered by the lives they protect. For Major Labarosa, this recognition has never belonged to him alone.
Is awarded to Major Gestoni V. Labarosa.
It belongs to every soldier who stood beside him that very day.
Major, can you tell me about this medal?
Itong medal na to is accomplishment ng buong team namin. So ako lang nag-receive, sir, actually, but ito ina-attribute ko yung accomplishment na to sa mga team na kasama ko during that time.
How important for you are medals and accolades in your military career?
Napaka-importante, sir, kasi ina-acknowledge yung mga accomplishment namin. Ito, considering na DCS is second highest combat award next to Valon. So napakalaking opportunity. And yun, ang kagandahan naman sa nung encounter namin that time, nakuha ko tong DCS without wasting yung buhay ng tropa ko.
So this was the 2020
Yes,
engagement?
Yes. Nakuha namin, sir, na walang namatay sa tropa. Only ako lang yung medyo severely wounded.
But beyond every mission, every promotion, every medal, there has always been one place waiting for him, home.
Very grateful, very thankful. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa life ni Jess na siya po yung nakasama ko bilang asawa sa pagbuo ng family. Kasi alam ko po na very focused po siya sa goal niya, even sa career at family din po. So alam ko po na maasahan siya sa lahat ng oras, sa lahat ng bagay. And we can depend on him sa lahat ng oras po. Mahal na mahal namin siya ng mga bata.
Major, ano ibig sabihin ng kabayanihan para sa inyo?
Para sa akin, sir, ang kabayanihan ay yung paggawa ng tama. Sometimes, kahit mahirap, pero kinakailangan. So, yun, para sa akin yung pagiging bayan is yung gumagawa ng tama para sa bayan. And of course, para sa kapwa natin mga Pilipino.
Some heroes are remembered for the battles they fought, others for the lives they changed. Major Gestoni Labarosa became both, a soldier who defended a nation, a teacher who inspired another generation to serve, because in the end, heroism is not measured by the medals we receive, but by the lives we leave better than we found them. And perhaps that is the greatest victory of all.
Sa bawat kwento ng sakripisyo, naalala natin kung gaano katapang ang isang Pilipino. Maraming salamat for tuning in. Ako po si Mateo Richelli. Mabuhay ang Pilipino at saludo tayo sa bawat isa.